For more than a decade, China dominated the production of the world's most famous smartphone. Factories there churned out hundreds of millions of iPhones every year. But something big is changing. Today, about 1 in every 4 iPhones in the world is being made in India. Yes, nearly 25% of global iPhone production is now happening here. And that shift tells a much bigger story about global trade, geopolitics, and the future of technology manufacturing. According to people familiar with Apple's manufacturing operations, Apple assembled around 55 million iPhones in India in 2025. Just a year earlier, that number stood at 36 million. That's a 53% jump in production in just 1 year. Globally, Apple produces roughly 220 to 230 million iPhones annually. So India's share of that production is rising rapidly and fast becoming central to Apple's global supply chain. But there's one major reason behind this shift is geopolitics. The trade tensions between the United States and China have led to tariffs on Chinese goods. That means devices made in China can become more expensive when sold in the American market. For Apple, which sells millions of iPhones in the US every year, that's a serious problem. So the company began looking for alternative manufacturing hubs, and India reportedly stood out. Over the past few years, the Narendra Modi government has launched aggressive policies to attract global manufacturers. One of the biggest initiatives is the Production-Linked Incentive Scheme, or PLI. These incentives offer subsidies to companies that manufacture electronics in India. The goal is to turn the country into a global factory for technology products. For Apple and its suppliers, those incentives help offset some major challenges. Because manufacturing in India is still more expensive than in China or even Vietnam. The actual production happens through Apple's global supply partners. Companies like Foxconn, Pegatron, and Tata Electronics assemble iPhones in India. And the scale of production is growing quickly. Today, factories in India are assembling the entire latest lineup, including the flagship iPhone 17 series. That includes the high-end Pro and Pro Max versions. These facilities are also producing older models like the iPhone 15 and iPhone 16 for both domestic sales and exports. This is part of Apple's long-term strategy. The company wants to build a second major iPhone manufacturing hub outside China. And India is increasingly becoming that hub. Apple is also expanding its local ecosystem. Suppliers are now producing more components inside India, including lithium-ion batteries, phone enclosures, and accessories like AirPods. But there's another reason Apple is investing heavily in India. But it's not just a production base, it's also becoming a major consumer market. Apple's sales in India have already crossed $9 billion. The company now operates 6 retail stores across the country and is preparing to launch Apple Pay here. That means New Delhi is emerging as both a factory and a fast-growing market for Apple.